We just learned how to create tools in Mastercam. Now let's take a look at how to modify them with the XForm tools. XForm tools are how we manipulate the tools we just created, all the chains we created. I can scale, I can drag, I can mirror, I can do all kinds of things. The most popular one people use is XForm drag. For example, let's say I didn't like this little item over here, my little parking light. So I want to highlight it. I can simply highlight by clicking, holding, dragging a box over it. Select the yellow, I now highlighted it. I can go up, XForm, drag, and there's two options in drag. There's a copy option, there's a move option. Copy, it will leave my original here and move the second one over there. I want to go ahead and move my object. So I'm going to keep it clicked on move, and it's now telling me to select the translation base point. I click and hold anywhere, and I can now move it and click when I'm happy with it. Check the check mark, and that's how you move it. If you have something you just don't want anymore, if I'm not in any tool, I can simply click and delete. Click this circle and delete it. If I also realize, okay, maybe I want this to be bigger, maybe I want my Seneca Valley to be smaller. Or to say, I work on this parking light here, we'll make it smaller. I can highlight it, and I go XForm, and I can scale it to a different size. Scale also has move, copy, or join. I always want to click move again because if I hit copy, it's going to put a bigger parking light on a bigger parking light on a bigger parking light. I can go down here and use a factor or percentage, and I can click. But if you notice, if I do not select the translation base point, it's picking off of the point right here. I can go up here to select my translation base point, and I can click right in the middle of my object. So now, when I hit my percentage, it makes it bigger right in the center where I need it to be. Once I'm happy with that, I can just go ahead through it and click the check mark. I now have a bigger parking symbol. Maybe I realize, okay, that's a little too close to Seneca Valley. I can sit there, select it all, XForm drag, and move it over a little bit. Just like there, I click my check mark. Sometimes images have lines upon lines. If you run into a case of that, simply just go ahead and delete them by clicking and hitting delete. You can make them all go away. Adding image in there sometimes adds a funky effect in Mastercam. Now let's say I want to put this P on the other side as well, but in a mirrored effect. I can simply once again highlight, and I can go to XForm mirror. And with the mirror button, I can hit copy or move. This is one of the only times I want to copy it. Because I want to keep this P here, I can click the X direction, and I can now pick how I want to move it. And I can say, okay, right about there is good. I can bring it closer, but I can also do a Y if I wanted to put it up in this vicinity. But for this case, I want to put it here. Once I like it, I can adjust it a little bit more if I want. But right there seems pretty good to me. And once again, if I don't like this placement of this one, I can go back. I can simply move it again. I can move this because it's now become its own image. Moving on with things, always click your check mark. Let's say I want to add lines on lines. I can go to XForm and I can go to offset. Offset basically takes this line and it'll move it wherever I want it to. So if I want to move it with erasing this line, I click move. I want to keep this line, I'll add maybe a decorative border or something along those lines, or maybe I want to check the center of my project. So we can go to 9. I can select the image, click on the area I want to move it, and it now moved that line inside and kept the outline. This is a good idea for the center, so you can make sure your words are centered and stuff like that. And I can just go back and delete it later on when I'm done. There's also a contour offset, which is kind of cool because I can pick my whole triangle, click the check mark, and I can now determine if I want to go inside outside, or both, and I can add a decorative border to it. And I can determine the spacing between it by clicking up here. I can change the Y spacing. I can go back once again, maybe say OK, inside, both, and it will automatically add curves, make the curves bigger, and add a nice little effect to the edge. I could then cut a contour or something in there, and let's say I like that for the sake of this. We'll leave it.